Long, long ago, in an all too familiar galaxy far, far away, during the time of the Galactic Empire, we find ourselves looking at the outer rim planet of Dagaboh that is currently home to one of the last living members of the former Jedi Council, Master Yoda. We now go to Master Yoda, who is in meditation just outside of his hut.
Strange it is, the power of that dark cave. Unnerving to some, yes, but fear its power, unnecessary this is. Learn some of its history I have since my time on Dagaboh. Tell you this history I shall do now.
A flashback sequence comes into view, showing a group of Jedi, with one being the same species as Yoda, although he is clearly younger, having brown hair and visibly less age in his facial features.
A little over 700 years ago it was, a young Jedi Knight on a group mission to save a distant system from being terrorized by the Dark Jedi. Eventually tracked down one of these Dark Jedi he did, and bravely he engaged him in combat, but still looked down upon by his opponent, believing him to be nothing more than a mere Padawan due to his small size. Continued to duel while professing he was more than a simple youngling. The Jedi did. However, still doubted he was, and eventually lost he did, even being disarmed of his lightsaber. Suddenly, rescued he was by his master, who arrived to corner the Dark Apprentice, demanding to know the location of his master. Conceded defeat and took his life, the Dark Apprentice did, so as not to let the Jedi know his master's location. Quickly, though, the Jedi's master discovered the location of the Dark Apprentice's master that followed him to Dagaboh, the group did. While in orbit above the planet, the Jedi Apprentice, wanting to restore his honor after having lost earlier, broke formation and headed to the planet's surface, knowing dangerous and unpredictable the planet is to those unprepared. However, the need to prove himself clouded his mind it had. Just as predicted, after taking a starfighter, crashed into a swamp it had after being struck by lightning from a storm above the planet. Surviving the crash, the young Jedi Apprentice, told to stay by his master, but still it was his plan to prove himself. Reckless again he was. Immediately sensed the presence of the Dark Master. Pursued the Dark Master for some time, before finally being guided to this cave. Having cornered the Dark Master, he ignited his green-bladed lightsaber and demanded that the Dark Jedi surrender. Tempted, the small Jedi was with the dark side. The Dark Master had but reaffirmed his status as a Jedi. The small apprentice did. But, being called nothing more than a small child full of fear and anger, he attacked the Dark Master, intent on proving that his size was not a measure of his skill. In response, the Dark Master grew to enormous size, towering over the small apprentice. Struck with fear, the young Jedi charged with his lightsaber, struck his adversary, but struck him down he did not. Instead, mocking the young Jedi, the Dark Master overwhelmed his opponent by changing into hundreds of small versions of himself. Reckless fear caused the young Jedi to thrash about with his lightsaber in blind terror, while his enemy repeatedly seduced him by saying that he would be more powerful by turning to the dark side. Suddenly grew silent, the Dark Master did. Only then did the young Jedi learn he had defeated his enemy, before suddenly being mocked one last time by the Dark Master's last breath. Rescued after his fight he was, but unknown to the Jedi present, striking down that Dark Master in this cave caused his essence to corrupt and a focal point to the dark side energies created. That is why things are seen when one enters. That is also why I have chosen this planet, for the dark energies hide my force signature from the Emperor and his apprentice Vader. Educational, I hope this tale was. Return someday to hear another, perhaps? Yes? Until then, be strong. And the Force, may it be with you, always.